Hey, what's going on, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here with this week's episode of What's New at TW. Let's jump right into it. First one we got up here, highly anticipated reel from Shimano. We've been waiting for this thing to come in for a while. This is the new Curado 200 DC. So, got all the same features that the normal Curado 200 has, but now with DC technology. If you're unfamiliar with DC, DC is a tiny microchip that's inside here on the side plate that actually digitally controls the spool on the cast. So it doesn't require any batteries or anything like that. There's a series of magnets and coils in there. So when you fire off the cast, the force of the spool actually powers the mini computer that's on the inside, and it can make 1/1000th of a second adjustments while you're casting. So really reduces a lot of that backlash. You're gonna get better casting distance with this reel. It's got a 1-to-4 adjustment. There's kind of a breakdown of when to use each adjustment. So it's a little bit different than a normal braking system when you go to the DC. So we've already carried the Curado 150 DC. Now we have a 200. So it's gonna hold about 20 more yards of 14-pound line, just a bigger spool, a little bit more line capacity for when those times you wanna jump up to maybe 17, 20, 25-pound fluoro. Maybe you wanna throw umbrella rigs or something like that, or you might wanna make really long casts with those big, super deep diving plugs. The 200 is going to be a better option than the 150 just to have that added line capacity. Again, all that same great Curado technology. These things are awesome. They are super, super smooth, but now you're going to get the added benefit of DC technology in the 200 size Curado. Next up from Do It. So we got a whole bunch of stuff, and this one is going to be a rabbit hole that I'm scared to go down myself. With winter coming up, could be a great project for some of you guys that do a lot of DIY stuff. So from Do It, we got a whole bunch of stuff to kind of paint and customize your own lures. So we got Do It crank blanks. So the blanks that we got crankbaits, swimbaits, jerkbaits, top waters, a whole bunch of different stuff. They come ready in a 5-pack, and they come ready to paint right out of the package. The bills on the crankbaits are already wrapped off, so you don't have to tape them. So saving you a lot of time right there. They're sanded down, ready to rock. So you can just take them out of the package and go right to painting. So we have a huge selection of all different types of hardbait blanks that you can pick up from us now. And then we got everything that you need to paint them up yourself. So we have a new airbrush kit. So you open this thing up, got everything you need in here, minus the air compressor. And then we got a bunch of different paints as well. So we got all the paints you would need. You can buy them individually, and we have them in the primaries, the pearls, iridescence, fluorescence. We got the reducer if you need it to thin them down a little bit. And then we sell them in kits too, which is what I got here. So you can buy them in the kits. So it saves you a little bit of money. You can buy a kit and get, six things of paint versus just buying them individually. So you can kind of build out a whole arsenal of paint that you would need to paint up all your favorite lures. And, checking these out, the wheels were already spinning, with colors that I'd want to replicate from maybe baits that were discontinued. Some of my old favorite Lucky Crafts that I can't get anymore. Maybe something like that, a color that you really, really like. Or if there's a color that you want and you can't find it anywhere, now you can paint it yourself. So again, winter time's coming up. This would be a great investment to get into. Someone who's into making lures, and you can spend a lot of time making a whole bunch of lures and then save yourself some money. Make things custom, and eventually over time, going to be more cost effective to paint up your own custom lures. All right, going to some soft plastics. First one here from Berkley Gulp. So Berkley's got a whole bunch of different leeches that we just got. So I know kind of in the Midwest area, fishing with live leeches is a way bigger deal. You can go down to your the live bait shops to pick up live leeches. If your bait shop's out, or if you just want to fish some artificials, Berkley's got you covered. I believe we have the Gulps, the Gulp freshwater, the Gulp alives, that's in the kind of the pint of liquid. And then we have Gulp jumbos as well. So any kind of size, any kind of color, we got all these different leeches that if you fish in those areas, we got where that's one of the primary forages. We've got a bunch of different Berkleys. And we know these Berkley Gulps that are in that Berkley Gulp liquid, these things catch a ton of fish. You can fish them on a drop shot, little jig head, whatever you want. Dynamite little soft plastics here. A couple other little soft plastics we got. Something that we're actually pretty pumped about in the office. We got a couple more things that we brought in from Bobby Garland, not necessarily new items, but ones that we brought in. So we got the Swimming Baby Shad. So their baby shad is one of the best selling crappie baits of all time. And now on the end of it, there's a small little paddle tail. So you're gonna get a little bit of swimming action out of it. Not overly aggressive, still gonna be real finesse. Down in the belly, they got a slit on there so you can add some scent into it as well. Match these up with some of their little jig heads and you can go to town on the crappie. And a bunch of us in the office when the bass fishing slow, we like to chase after the crappie a little bit here, especially in the springtime. The other one that we got here is their Stroller Minnow. So this thing has got this really large aggressive tail on it, unlike any other kind of swimming, little swimming shad bait I've ever seen. So almost like a curly tail worm with that large J on it, but it's got that paddle on there, so it gets a tremendous vibration. So they designed this one if you want to cast and retrieve for crappie or do some slow trolling. So they got a couple different options for you there. All right, next up from Blitz Lures. There's a small window right now. The leaves are turning, bass are biting. Right now in the fall time, there's a small window where you can go out and get on a really good frog bite, depending on where you're at in the country. So if you're in one of those places, kind of stepping down to the smaller size topwater is usually crucial this time of the year. So from Blitz Lures, we have the new Poppin' Frog Junior. So just a smaller profile, building on their original Poppin' Frog, catches a ton of fish. It's a great design, and they've just downsized it a little bit. What I like about their frog is it's a little bit taller in the back end than a lot of frogs, so you get a lot of hook gap on there. And they've actually molded that body. They've molded that hook, the shape of that hook right into the body, so it sits in there perfect, nice and clean, really weedless, large cut mouth, and since it's a little bit taller bait, it's a little easier to walk as well. So you can pop it, spray a bunch of water, and it's a little easier to walk than some of the flatter frogs. Like I said, right now, if you're in those areas, maybe you have some of those like leftover mats, they're kind of scattered around the lake from the summertime. Those can be great spots to fish frogs this time of the year. So there is one little window of topwater action to still be had before winter gets here. You want to jump on it, well, you can get yourself a smaller frog with that Blitz Poppin' Frog Junior. Next up, from All Terrain Tackle, we got their new Largy Smasher swim bait head. Now this is it's a bigger caliber swim bait head. It's gonna be great for fishing deep, especially if you fish a lot of ledges and stuff like that and you're making really long casts and you got the bait down there 20, 30 feet. This is a big head. You can fish those bigger swim baits and just target those bigger largemouth. So with this head, they've got everything, I believe, from a 3/8 to a 1 ounce or a 3/4. And everything comes, you can either get these swim bait heads in a 4/0 and up to a 6/0 size hook. So some of the different weight sizes have different size hooks, so I'll give you a few options there. But this is a mean hook. It's not a hook that you're gonna fish on a spinning rod with like 8-pound line. It's a heavy wire hook. It's got a unique bend in it, so that V shape on there, when you stick a fish, it's gonna dump down into that V bend on there, and you're gonna be able to hold fish on there and land a lot more fish and have less fish come up and shake loose. But like I said, big, heavy gauge hook, got a nice a lead keeper and a wire keeper on there. Nice detailing on the heads. So if you're looking for a swim bait head that's got a bigger, beefier hook on it, that one from All Terrain Tackle might be one you want to check out. From Black's Custom Lures, we got their Widowmaker umbrella rig. I'm super stoked about this umbrella rig. I mean, the size of it, nice, compact, not one of those overly big, giant umbrella rigs. This one's gonna catch a lot of fish. And this time in the fall is when you wanna downsize that stuff, especially with your umbrella rigs. You don't wanna run the big, 6-inch baits and big umbrella rigs. Now's a perfect time to downsize, have those little willow leaf blades on there and run those little bit smaller swim baits. It seems to be much more effective this time of the year in the fall. This umbrella rig, it's got 4.5-inch wires around the outside and a 5-inch wire in the middle. So nice and compact. As you can see, there's unique bends that come out of the head. So the wires come out and they're already pre-bent. So you don't have to mess with the wires all coming out of one spot and bend them and rebend them every time you want to put it away. With this design, it's reinforced, it's a lot stronger. And then you get your wires and they stay spaced out apart a lot better than some of the other umbrella rigs on the market. Hardware, all around premium components, ball bearing swivels, nice quality snaps on there. But like I said, right now is gonna be the time you wanna throw these guys since the bass are gonna be pushing bait into the back of pockets, and there's usually a lot smaller bait fish around this time of the year. And if you want something to put this umbrella rig in, got a new one from us here at TW. We got our new umbrella rig, our umbrella rig bag. So I believe 1 or 2 episodes ago, we showed you guys the new TW umbrella rig tubes. We sell them individually, and now we just got the bag system in stock. So on the inside, it's got these kind of square chambers that actually hold each tube on the inside. So you can put 4 in there. You can put your umbrella rigs in there fully rigged up, or you can put ones that don't have any terminal or anything on them, and they'll fit in there just fine. But you can fit them in there fully rigged just fine. And we went with this size. It's got that kind of heavy duty reinforced outer nylon material, so it doesn't scratch anything up. Keeps everything nice, compact, or keeps everything organized in there, and from going loose inside your boat compartment. But we went with this size because it's about the same footprint as a 3700 size box. So you can stuff this in, right in line with all your other 3700s, and it's not going to take up extra space or just be out of order with all your other tackle boxes. So if you're looking for something to store umbrella rigs, you shouldn't need more than 4, for a day of fishing. You can load this thing up, be ready to go for the day. Check this one out that we just got into stock here at Tackle Warehouse. Last up from Queen Tungsten, actually, or Queen Tackle. So we got their new Dock Defender rods for your boat. So if you got a brand new shiny bass boat that you don't want anything to touch it besides the water, we got these new Dock Defender sticks. So you can attach one onto the cleat, and then you can hook onto the dock and latch it on. Going to keep you attached to the dock, but it's going to keep your boat spaced away from the dock and keep it from banging into the dock and scratching up your boat when other boats are going by, or there's a lot of wind or maybe rough conditions out there. Not all docks are created equal. So some docks are chewed up on the outside. They might have sharp metal edges that you don't want digging into your gel coat. This is going to be perfect to keep your boat protected while keeping it attached to the dock, but not messing up the outside. You can also use these to link up to other boats and keep your boats from kind of banging into each other. Just a sweet little accessory if you got a boat. Probably something you want to have in the back compartment just for those times when you might need them. You never know. All right, it's going to wrap up today's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. For more information to purchase any of the products seen here today, make sure to click shop or link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let us know in the comments which one of these products you're most pumped about.